Okay, folks, we are going to move into extended caliber ammunition testing as part of this 11 caliber test. I'm going to explain here real quickly why we're doing this. All of these scenarios that you're looking at, the caliber, the handgun, the type of ammunition, the feet per second, all of these are as we chronographed the feet per second. We calculated the foot-pounds of energy here. In black are the ones that we already tested as part of our 11 caliber test. The ones in red are ones that, I'm just going to be honest with you, I want to see how they perform as compared to what we have already tested. Here's where I think this may be really interesting. We tested 9mm Luger with 301 foot-pounds of energy, 45 with 376. Hornaday's 124 grain plus P is exhibiting 394 foot-pounds of energy, and Spears is exhibiting 408. Now you compare that to the Browning ammunition that we used, even compare it to the 45 ACP that we tested, and you can see we've even got the 40 Smith & Wesson that we tested kind of sandwiched between these two 9mm rounds that are both right there in that same neighborhood. I'm interested to see how that 9mm performs in this context with more foot-pounds of energy going on. I think it's, well, I'm just going to say it's something I really want to see for my continued carry of 9mm handguns and selection of 9mm ammunition. On the 40 Smith & Wesson side, we tested at 404. We're going to be retesting with a 482 foot-pounds of energy. So again, significantly more, and you can see the sort of the basics that we're following here is those big bullets faster. So we're going to be increasing foot-pounds per second on the 40, 11, 47. As we tested it was just 1,005. You can see the difference in the 960 feet per second we tested the 9mm, almost 1,200 and over 1,200 on our retest. That 45, we did not feel like there was sufficient penetration at 858 feet per second. The Hornady at 220 grain, little lighter bullet, same hole size, more speed. So we're taking the same big hole and we're making it faster, and we're expecting that to be a bit better performer, not have a problem with penetration, but we're going to see. And so to recap these, this is what we're in essence doing. We had 376 foot-pounds of energy in our original 45 that we tested. That's going to 423. The 40 Smith & Wesson, we're getting it faster, more foot-pounds of energy for it, 482 compared to 404. And really, this is, I guess, the big drama moment, or the more dramatic difference in these foot-pounds of energy is going to be in this 9mm. These two plus Ps are these get into that range of the 40 and the 45 that we tested previously. And I want to mention one other thing. Because of the handguns that we are testing with today, we are testing plus P in the 9x19mm, and it's because we can spring the high power design which we're testing with, so that it is acceptable to use plus P ammunition in a high power. However, we don't have a way to properly spring a high power for plus P versions of 40 Smith & Wesson, so we're not going to be going there. We are certainly capable of springing a 45 sufficient for plus P ammunition, so we're not going to be worrying too much about going there. The highest foot-pounds of energy, anyway, that we are going to be testing is that 40 Smith & Wesson there that we see there from Hornady. The 45, it's a bigger bullet going slower, a little smaller bullet going faster, and a little smaller bullet going even faster. And we're going to see how that impacts the test media and how it impacts it differently than the ammunitions that we tested before. Okay, we've got Hornady critical duty 9mm 124 grain plus P. And this is a real step up for our 9mm cartridge compared to the ammunition that we shot in our test the first time. And we are ready to go. Okay, we're going to go see what happened. Just like the test we had before, very conclusive exit.
Yep, no issues there.
Let's see how we held together here on the. Yeah, it was looked like an exit went with a little bit of violence, and okay, went through the rib, and now I remember we got a low shot on this one. Sorry about that. So it's coming apart a little bit worse. But this right here, we saw no cavitation like that.
No.
Out of the first 9mm test we have, and we have one more to test. That'll be the spear. Okay, we are now into the extended testing. Last ammunition we're going to test today, spear, gold dot, 124 grain plus P. That's the highest velocity 9mm ammunition that we have chronographed so far, and we're going to see what happens. Away went the label.
Yeah.
And we have a really convincing exit wound back there. Now, I'm seeing more damage of the melon. This is a higher velocity round than the Hornaday was. Okay, I want to continue here and mute the actual sound on the video. This was much more what I was looking for and hoping to see out of a 9mm. And this gets the 9mm Luger ballistically above most 38 Supers even. And this is an advantage, and you can see the inside of this watermelon was, this was really, really soundly better performance. Lighter bullet, lots more velocity, 960 compared to 1216 here for this spear. And it really made, at least for me, it made a dramatic difference in the performance of the 9mm as compared to the Browning X point that we tested initially. Okay, I'm going to run to the 40 Smith & Wesson that we did for extended testing. In our extended testing, this is the most highest rated foot-pounds of energy. This is the 40 Smith & Wesson 165 grain FTX bullet from Hornady, and this was the highest foot-pounds of energy that we tested this particular day in the extended testing. This is significantly more foot-pounds of energy out of this round than the previous 40 Smith & Wesson that we tested, so we're going to find out what that means. It's definitely a big bullet going faster. Okay, that was a lot of power.
Yeah.
For certain. Let's see if I got a good enough. We have already got a bee sucking up on that. Do you see this?
Nice.
Okay, we have a really good exit wound. I think our tape succeeded in holding this together. It's the only thing holding it together. In fact, come around to this side over here and take a look at how the shock impacted this watermelon. It's just, I have a feeling when we take the tape apart, it's just going to do what it's doing right now, and it's just going to fall apart. Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so we had to look at big holes going fast again. This is the faster 40 Smith & Wesson. And all right, last one. This is the 45 ACP. Now you remember the slower 45 ACP, that was around 858, 230 grain, 376 feet per second. Now same diameter bullet, 45 ACP, 220 grain plus P. That got us up to 931 feet per second, 423 foot-pounds of energy. And we'll see what happens. Hornady critical duty, 45 auto plus P, 220 grain. This is 10 grains lighter, and we're hoping for at least 100 feet per second faster velocity here with the 45 ACP from Hornady. So we're going to see if we can hold this just as level as possible and get the best shot. Hopefully our entry point is the BH label there at the end of the table on that tape. Fire in the hole. My friends, that is something we did not see out of 45 ACP. That was something we didn't see out of actually anything. Was the media. We taped all of them very similarly. We used the same amount of tape on all of them, and that's definitely a reaction of the media, and I guess you'd say max destruction. Our entry right there, the normal 45 size. Now take a look here. You can see that was getting very, very active. Obviously it got much more active, and we also exited out the back as well, and that is a really big hole through the back of these ribs, just rib bones, everything. One thing I do want to say right here, that specific package of ribs was just, the ribs inside the bag were just covered like sand, and it was actually bone that had just been obliterated, and it was just all over the inside of the bag. Actually, that was one of the ribs that we didn't salvage anything from and throw on the grill, and it exited. So we're going to guess penetration would have been very, very sufficient on this. Big holes going fast.
I like it.
That's our mantra, and we have an excellent friend of mine in BHSpringSolutions that we have to thank for that. And I know his feelings about acknowledging him publicly. I acknowledge him anonymously. That fundamental, big holes going fast, we can show conclusively what big holes going faster looks like compared to our 230 grain standard pressure 45 ACP that we shot before. This is a good test.